You are watching episode 85 of I Know What You Watched last week. And on average, I've got to say this is a pretty good week. What we have is a sequel to a classic werewolf movie starring horror legend, movie legend, and just general legend Christopher Lee, along with 80s B-movie legend Sybil Danning and Jimmy Nail. We also have the sequel to the movie that was Stephen Dorff's debut, Sans Stephen Dorff, unfortunately. And to finish all off, a very early input into the horror genre by one of my favourite directors, William Malone, also starring Klaus Kinski. Now, before we mention what we watched, someone on the comments of our horror collection said that I could possibly be a Mason and part of the Illuminati. So in response to that, I would just like to say,
You're so
you know
silly.
what I'm talking
You're
about.
Just baiting
So
people.
what did we watch this week?
We started with The Howling 2.
Oh! Yeah.
Then we saw The Gate 2. And I thought it was going to be a deuce week.
Yeah, I did look for another sequel, but and plus this movie that we watched finally was also going to be expiring on streaming soon, so I had to get it in.
So that being said, we finished with Creature.
Creature, also known as Titan Find, which is just a terrible, terrible title for a movie.
Titan Find?
Yeah, because obviously they go to Titan, didn't they? They find the creature on Titan.
Okay.
So then he found it on Titan, so Titan Find.
Yeah, that is a dumb title.
Yeah. So, I'm intrigued to know your order.
Okay, slight caveat. The third film, Creature, I was incredibly exhausted when we watched it, so maybe that had an effect on my judging. But that aside, my third place 100% goes to Creature. Then second place goes to The Howling 2. And my gold, I was most entertained by The Gate 2.
Well, I don't know what's going on in that pea-sized mind of yours. But number one is all wrong. I've been flip-flopping between 2 and 3 all week. It just depends on how you feel. But I'm probably going to give bottom place, not because I didn't enjoy it, because I did enjoy it, but bottom place goes to Creature. Second place goes to The Gate 2. And way out in front, Howling 2, Your Sister is a Werewolf, to give it its full title, one of its full titles. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in my order.
Oh, wow.
We're going to start with Creature from 1985, directed by William Malone, director of the House on Haunted Hill remake and Fear.com, 2 movies that I really love. Mm-hmm. And as I mentioned before, one of the best episodes of Tales from the Crypt of all time, only skin deep. So Creature, what did you think about this?
I was very disappointed because I also really enjoy his House on Haunted Hill edition, but
This is early.
I found this really quite dull.
This is showing his potential.
I'm not, to be fair, apart from, Alien with Sigourney Weaver, I'm not massively into the space genre.
This is an Alien ripoff. It's one of many Alien ripoffs.
Not very well done, in my opinion. And I thought some of the performances were quite bad. I thought a lot of the characters were really weak. There wasn't much character building or development. And I just feel like everything was very lukewarm.
So do you think this film was better than Alien?
I think we've just established quite clearly that no.
Did you like that, even though Alien came out in 79 and this was 85, Alien's barely dated at all and this is just instantly dated? To be fair though, this movie costs like 200 grand. It's a dirt cheap movie.
Do you know another thing that I never understand with these space movies?
How come you don't like space, man?
So, for example,
space freaks me out. It's scary.
With this one, I never understand why they do this. They're on a spaceship, obviously, and the set that they've created to be the inside of the spaceship, they've got a tunnel, and then they've just, for some completely inexplicable reason, added bits that make it way smaller and harder to manoeuvre that don't seem to actually add anything to the structure. They've done it purely for looks, but it's just aggravating.
Exactly, it's cosmetic. And, when you are an astronaut or a spacefarer, you don't have much room to manoeuvre. That's why you're just floating around in a tube, aren't you? Eating Ruffles like Homer Simpson. So what this movie is about, we've got two multinational corporations. One from evil Germany, Richter Dynamics, and one from, of course, the good guys, America, which is called NTI. And they are in competition for new materials and advanced manufacturing techniques, and so have heavily invested in space in a race for commercial supremacy. Now it's April the 5th. We're on Titan, Saturn's largest moon, okay? Titan find. And we've got NTI, two guys from NTI. They're searching around a 200,000-year-old structure where they come across a giant tube inhabited by said creature. Now, the two astronauts are called Howard and Ted, I believe. That's two good astronaut names, and Howard and Ted. Howard and Ted, the astronaut. And Howard sits on the tube. Bit of like gunk comes out of it, and all of a sudden, his helmet fills up with blood.
Yeah.
Scary.
Not really.
Scary. Now it's June 23rd. It's not April anymore. It's June 23rd. We're on Space Station Concorde, owned by NTI, the Yanks, and there's a vessel approaching the station for collision course. It's Ted, the one that survived. Their spaceship is not responding, and it just crashes and explodes into Concorde. Now, because of this, we've got to have, a rescue research mission. And this is another NTI venture. And the job is to claim the archaeological discovery of an alien origin. And one of the girls, she's the final girl in the movie. Mm-hmm. I've forgotten her name for right now. She's like, well, why didn't the team who were already there claim it? And like the commander's like, well, the one person that was alive crashed into the space station, and everyone else is presumed dead. And then she asks a very pertinent question. If this is just for research, why do we have weapons expert on board?
Silent woman.
Yeah,
who just stands around bearing
silent
arms.
woman Bryce, and the commander just says, well, just in case, because I've never been to Titan, so we don't know what's there, plus a bunch of people are dead.
It does seem pertinent, even if it is just a research mission, to have some kind of protection, doesn't it? You don't know what's in space.
You don't know what's in space. No, and in space, as we all know, no one can hear you scream. Exactly. So now Bryce, who is the weapons expert, at first I thought she was like some kind of droid.
Yeah.
Because the first time that she's mentioned is by two of the lady astronauts one of them's a doctor and the other one is the final girl. And they're basically Bryce is confiscating prescription drugs, and the two girls mentioned that Bryce hasn't said a word to anyone in 3 months. I was like, droid. And the other thing I noticed is that she has heavy stage makeup. When you're on stage and you have those brown lines, and there's something, either the makeup artist should be fired or lighting should be fired, because just like she's got a big smear of poop coming down her face. Like, it looks terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you notice that?
Well, actually, do you know what? I did very much notice the makeup, because I was thinking, again, I would love to see a film where they just are a bit more realistic and don't put all the women in a full face of makeup. I'm sorry, but if you're floating around space for 3 months, I don't think the first thing you do every day when you get up is put on a full face of makeup.
I do. I would insist. I would insist on that. No, not that I wear makeup. I don't, because I'm just naturally beautiful. We can't all be that blessed, can we? So I could float around space with no makeup, and no one be any the wiser. So anyway, after Bryce is pissed off the girls, the NTI team noticed that Richter are around. So it's time to land, according to the commander, against the better judgment of the captain of the ship, Davidson, right? And there's a really dodgy landing. Yeah,
the leader guy here who's like, no, I insist we don't do any safety checks and we just land. What an idiot. But also, the guy who's actually running the ship, he must realise
Davidson.
That this is really dangerous. And I'm sorry, I don't care who's in charge, but if my life is at risk, I'm doing the safety checks. I'm not just being like, oh, okay, whatever you say, sir. The
commander, he takes Bryce to go and see Richter's ship. And Davidson is like, look, this is for info, not confrontation. No one should be shooting at the Germans. And the commander's like, look, I'm in charge of Bryce, the weapons expert, and if I want to shoot some Germans, I'm going to tell her to shoot some Germans. So we've got the early beef between Captain Davidson and the commander. While this is going on, we've got Susan and John Fennell, they're in another part of the ship where there's a window which looks out onto another planet. And Susan doesn't think she's going to make it back. So she's like, make love to me right now.
Susan's performance was atrocious. Like, absolutely awful. There was no differentiating her emotions between one sentence and the next. It was terrible. You also didn't mention they do this landing without the safety checks and promptly crash through a layer of the planet.
Titan.
And
They've
from what
landed on
I
Titan.
gathered, their whole ship is like, well, kind of destroyed, isn't it?
It does have a bit of a bouncy landing, and yeah,
There's loads of
it's in
sparks,
a bit of the
and the back of their ship's been broken off, and
for you not enjoying this movie and like forget the characters and all that. But what do you think of like the model? I thought the model work and all that kind of stuff was pretty good for a very low budget film.
yeah, considering the budget,
Extremely low budget film.
I think that's
The model and all that was
impressive.
very good, and
the costumes were hilarious. Though.
costumes were quite funny. Yeah. Even just the general ones with the helmets.
Yeah, they put the
Yeah.
helmet on, press a button, and you hear a little like deek, and a little light comes up. I was like, how annoying would that be to have a light just shining up into your face all the time?
When the doors open on the ship, instead of like a, we had like a pew pew, like a zapping sound, like a phaser sound
Like
or something
chopping
like
wall.
that.
Pew, pew, pew,
Yeah.
pew.
So now they've landed.
Yeah.
They decide, right, we've got to go and
Crash
check out the Richter ship. So as they step outside, they're in their suits, and they mention that it's like 77 degrees below where they are, and if you go up to the surface, it's like 200 degrees below zero. So it's freezing cold, and we've got Bryce, the weapons expert, Davison, John Fennell, and Susan, who have just had sex. They get onto the ship, and of course, what do you want to do? You want to split up straight away, because that's what you do. And what's the second thing you want to do? Susan walks off by herself and shouts, "Is anybody there?" Everyone knows you don't shout, "Is anybody here?" Susan then comes across the tube from the beginning,
Yeah.
which old Howard sat on.
It looks like one of those like little medicine caplets, but bigger and silver.
It does look like a medicine caplet, yeah. And she also finds 2 dead bodies, freaks out because now the creature is coming. We get our first slight glimpse of the creature in darkness. We don't quite see it properly just yet. Basically what I'm saying is we can't tell that it's completely made of rubber just yet.
And then it's, again, a low-budget rip-off of Alien.
Well, you say a low-budget rip-off of the xenomorph from Alien.
Yeah.
This was made in 85.
Yeah.
Aliens, James Cameron's Aliens, was made in 86, and the same team that worked on the creature effects in this were hired to do the creature effects for Aliens. So do you reckon James Cameron's seen Creature and gone, look, if we're gonna outdo Ridley Scott, I need these guys. Because look at that creature, look at that rubber creature with rubber teeth and red eyes.
Yeah, but for the low budget, I do think it was quite good, actually. Of course, if they had more money, I'm sure they would have done a better job, which we can see from Aliens. But yeah, I think the idea actually was pretty decent. It's just, again, you shouldn't light things up so much when you just don't have the budget to make it look perfect.
To be fair to the filmmakers, they did pretty much keep the creature in the dark until the last kind of 20 minutes, and then they let it out completely. It was like, ah! kind of thing. So after she finds 2 dead bodies, she runs back to the crew. They all panic, and they all get through the door, but three of them get through, and Bryce on the other side just decides to shut the door and leave Susan on the other side. And then
I don't think he decides to do that. He's quite sad by it, isn't he?
I know Bryce is the weapons expert girl, so she's the one that shuts the door. Exactly, what a bitch. That's what I'm thinking again. She's a droid. She's got no emotion, kind of thing. She's like leaving Susan there to die. Obviously, John Fennell freaks out about this because he just had sex with her by the window, and because he starts to freak out, Bryce then tranquilizes him, and they get off the ship and they go back to their own ship. Now, when they get back, they decide that we realise we've got to get a message back to Concord to send us a rescue ship, because also it's not just the creature, we've also got low air supply. While they've been gone, a sneaky German called Hoffner has managed to get onto NTI's ship, and he's got himself into a room with Bryce, and Bryce is like laying down her weapons or whatever. Hoffner, played by Klaus Kinski, the professional nutty madman, he walks in there, he like grabs hold of her, gropes her, and he's like, "What do you like?" And then she like gives him the old business because she's obviously trained.
She likes violence.
She loves violence, and Hoffman's like, "Oh, you like violence? I like this. Now, a little bit about that scene. Now, we mentioned in Cruel, when we reviewed Cruel Space, either last week or the week before, said a little bit about Klaus Kinski and how he's just a lunatic.
Yeah.
Right? And a complete degenerate in real life. In this, that grope was not part of that was just his character. He's like, right, I'm going to grope her. This is my character. So that's number one
He
about
also comes
Mr.
like
Kinski in
later
this.
on when he's like, I want to go with her, and then they're walking out and he just does a little cheep on her butt.
Yeah, that's probably also improvised.
But also her reaction was very 80s, because if someone had done that sort of thing these days, I think she would have reacted a bit more harshly, like, this guy is not just going to wander in and start talking to us like he's one of our friends.
Well, if you think this is bad behaviour by Mr. Kinski, you should see what he was doing in the movies in the early 90s with his Italian co-stars. Now that is something else. Anyway,
But I would like to add that, you know, his personal stuff all aside,
he's the best in this, isn't he?
he is by far the best in this.
Easily.
He steals
He does, doesn't he?
every scene he's in.
It's kind of it's almost like a shame that he's not in more of the movie. Because he just is the best. He's just the best actor in this by a mile. He asked the crew, you know, if they want off the ship, they should know what they're up against. And he mentions that the Richter team, they found a bunch of specimens of all types of life, and not all of them are pleasant, including the canister creature, which has killed off his guys and is now just waiting to kill off him and all the Americans. John Fennell, the one that's been tranquilized.
Loverboy.
Yeah, he's asleep at the window at which he made love to Susan.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, Susan comes to the window. Oh, she's like, follow me. And he's like, Susan! He can't believe it because he's thinking, oh, I might get shagged again. Medical girl, she goes out looking, because John goes looking for Susan, obviously.
Yeah, and when that's happening, when Susan's doing her, like, run a little bit, stop and look back, I was like, oh, for God's sake. Like, it looked so stupid.
While he's running after her out on Titan, she obviously bamboozles his mind by just getting naked. You know, it's going to scramble any man's mind. She gets naked, removes his helmet, and puts this thing in his face, which we don't quite see at the time. We just see, like, the camera blacken as she puts it onto his face. Now the crew are concerned, right? Hoffner is now also bringing up the lack of air. So he and Bryce decide to go searching. But before they go searching, do you recall a scene in this where Hoffner is eating a sandwich?
No.
No? Well, Klaus Kinski's character, he's saying all his lines, but he's also eating a sandwich.
Oh, yes, I do actually.
You do recall that, right? Him eating a sandwich is not in the script. Lunch had just finished, and Klaus Kinski refused to put away his sandwich, so just carried on eating during filming. Right? And I mentioned William Malone, William Bill Malone, one of my favourites. We've listened to him on commentaries, right, and stuff like that. Seen him in interviews. He seems like he's a very docile man, isn't he? He seems like a nice guy. He seems like a cool guy. Would take a lot for him to lose his temper. Eventually, he did lose his temper with Mr. Kinski and had to like lay down the law. Imagine being so irritating that you even drive Will Malone to lose his temper. This is what the man is dealing with here. Yeah. So as you mentioned earlier on, when Hoffner brings the lack of air, he and Bryce go searching, and like I said, he's still messing around. Then he like going ooh, Bryce and whatever you said, like slapping her bum and stuff like this. Meanwhile, on the ship, a transmission of John comes through. We just seen him get the thing on his face. A transmission of John comes through, and he mentions that he has a crook in his neck, and that's why he's looking at the camera like this and can't turn or whatever.
Yeah.
And he says, you know, you've got to get onto this German ship, Richter ship, because
I can fix it.
There's loads of air here.
You can go home.
But I couldn't find Susan. But I'm here, and there's loads of air here. So he implores them to come on over. As the transmission ends, we see that he has a parasite on the back of his head. The parasite on the back of his head was pretty grim. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. I guess it is kind of like a mini face hugger type thing that goes into the back of his head, and you've got like the blood dripping down from where it's like, I guess, drilling into him or whatever.
Yeah, and we've already mentioned, obviously, this is an Alien ripoff. There's also bits of the Thing in here because the creatures obviously infect the passengers.
No one knows who's
good and who's bad and stuff like that, yeah. Captain Davison, the doctor girl, and the commander, they go to the German ship, right? John is there with his head strapped now. So he's hiding from them that he has this creature strapped to his head. And he's acting a bit weird. You know, it's very hot on the ship for some reason. The three of them start to sweat. John's not sweating at all. He's not sweating whatsoever.
But also the weirdest thing is that his lover who's dead, he's now suddenly just not bothered.
He's not that concerned, is he? So he goes off with the doctor. Davison and the commander decide to do their own search. The doctor ends up coming across these webbed dead bodies, like they're hung upside down, almost like they're being cocooned or being ready to be cocooned in these webs.
Oh, is that what it is? Because I was like, what? So there are spiders up here who've just instantly started spinning webs.
And when the doctor is in the room with the infected John Fennell, all of a sudden he attacks and she rips off his face. I thought that was pretty cool.
It was cool, but I didn't really get it.
She rips off his face. That was really good. And he then hands her to the creature, the rubber creature. Here you go, rubber creature, eat this. Davison and the commander, they notice that John wasn't sweating like we mentioned. So alarm bells start ringing. Davison finds the doc being eaten by the creature. John comes out and he exposes his face. That bit was also awesome.
See, that bit I thought was too much.
No,
a bit like
never too much. I love the flapping bit.
I thought it looked crap.
I love the flapping.
Johnny likes a flap.
Yeah, I do like flapping. He comes out and exposes his face while roughing him up, but the commander comes and literally blows his head clean off.
See, I like that bit.
Yeah, that bit was also awesome. The gore in this is what makes the film.
I like that they did it in slight slow-mo as well. They were like, if we're gonna make someone's head explode, we've got to actually like show you every second.
That effect was good.
Yeah, it was.
It was, because the face didn't look like some mannequin head.
No, sometimes you can tell that they've just done some prosthetic head, just latex. But this,
what they've done is they save money on the creature and they put it all to that exploding head, open flapping head thing. So now, I mentioned the final girl who's on it, her name is Sladen. She's been left on ship NTI at the same time while they've all gone onto the Richter
trying to
ship.
fix some kind of radio transmitter or something.
And she thinks that she can hear things. In the background, we notice 2 feet, 2 legs walking behind her. Turns out it's Hoffner, and Hoffner attacks her with his melting face. He's got a melting face.
Yeah, why is it melting? I don't know, but it looks cool.
It did look cool, and he's now trying to parasite her. He's like, you're so pretty.
So he's still a pervert.
Yeah.
Even when he's been aliened.
Yeah. She manages to escape out onto Titan. Hoffa is in pursuit. Davison and the commander, they can't find any extra spacesuits on Richter because they imagine that the alien, the creature, has got rid of these things.
Yeah.
Right? And they don't want to go looking for them because it's too dangerous. So they said they go to the bridge, they look outside and they notice Sladen making her way, but they don't notice Hoffner there. She passes out. While they go down to go and get her, Hoffner himself brings her onto the ship. So when they get down to the bit of the ship where she is, they're kind of tending to her, and Hoffner pops out again.
The other thing was, so not the commander of the mission, but the commander of the ship, he just, at some point, late in this movie...
So do you mean the captain, Davison?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
He gives Sladen a kiss. So all of a sudden, out of completely nowhere, we're like, oh, are they in a relationship? Or was that like a first kiss? Or I don't know. It's not clear. Again, bad performances. But when she comes in, I guess he's so like worried about her safety that, again, they don't even clock that Hoffner is there. Do they?
No, they don't clock that he's there. And like I say, when he pops out, there's obviously roughhousing going on. And one of them manages to pull the parasite off the back of his head.
Yeah.
And that's how they finish him. Yeah, so
and
now...
it does a little...
It does, yeah. Now they got to work out, the three of them. Sladen, Commander Davison... No, sorry, Captain Davison and the commander. They've got to work out what they're going to do. And by the way, where the hell has Bryce been this whole time? Like, they mentioned, where's Bryce? And it's Sladen that says, oh, the fusion unit. Of course, that can kill the creature. But to get to the fusion unit, they have to go through the engineering bay where all those hanging upside down cocoon bodies are and possibly the creature is. But Sladen mentions that she's seen a movie about a carrot.
From space.
A carrot from space. that imprisons a bunch of people, and they manage to electrocute the carrot.
That was so dumb.
I think this is referring to like a 1950s movie about something from outer space. Yeah, about a carrot. So that, I've got to give that one a watch, about a space carrot. But then the commander makes the point that even to get to that, we still have to go through engineering.
Yeah.
Decide anyway, right? Commander's going to go through engineering. I'm going to keep an eye on you while you two try.
Yeah, because there's like CCTV stuff.
Yeah, and the creature though has opened one of the doors. Creature opened one of the doors. Davison and Sladen head to engineering. The commander is keeping watch. Davison and Sladen, they get to the hanging bodies, and the creature's come in with its burning red eyes, and now we see it in all its glory, all its flappy, rubbery glory. Even its teeth, its sharp teeth are like that. Good for them though. Sladen's carrot from out of space electrocution plan works, and they manage to electrocute the rubber creature. They all surround it once it falls to the floor, and they're all satisfied that yes, the creature is dead. But at this point, I clicked the remote, and I was like, no, look, there's 15 minutes left. There's no way that creature is dead. So I decided we got to prepare the ship to leave. While the two men prepare the ship, Sladen,
why does she do this?
walks over to the creature and starts poking at it.
She's just like nudging it with her foot and stuff. I was like, it's either dead or it's not dead. Standing there poking it, either way, is not helpful.
Well, if you're in space and you've got one chance to come across a dead creature, you're going to want to kind of inspect it, aren't you?
No.
No? Well, maybe that's just me then.
I want to get out of there.
She ends up obviously being grabbed by the creature. Yeah! And she's hung upside down like a cocoon. But don't worry, because the commander and Captain Davison, they're on it. The commander's going to lure it if he can find an alternative way in to the cocoon space while Davison rescues Sladen. You about to say something?
No.
No? Okay. The commander then comes across some explosives, which Hoffner had mentioned previously. He's like, there are enough explosives on here to blow us all to hell. So that's a good thing. The hatch to engineering, he's noticed though, is open.
Yeah.
So the commander is like, Captain Davison, do you have eyes on the creature? Because this hatch is open. All of a sudden, it's time to panic again, isn't it? So Commander Davison, instead of waiting by the doors, which separate him from the hanging Sladen, he shoots the controls of the door and opens them himself, goes and cuts down
Turns out that was
Sladen.
The right move, though.
It was the right move. There. Yeah. Meanwhile, Commander, he sets the explosive to 30 seconds, but he's put 30 seconds on it, but he hasn't set it to explode yet. So he's just walking around with it. All of a sudden, with no musical cue whatsoever, the rubber creature just comes around the air, because it's like in absolute silence.
I'd hire you.
Maybe that's the whole thing of in space no one can hear you scream.
Yeah.
No one can hear the creature coming either. Yeah. So when it appears behind him, we know it's pretty much the end of the commander, and Davison comes across the creature munching on the commander's neck. While he's munching on the commander's neck...
Is this the one where it munches his whole head off, or is that a different one?
Possibly.
There's a point where he's like munching on this side, looks at the person, then starts munching on the other side, and within a second the head is just...
It might be, because while he's munching on the neck, the commander is still alive, and he notices that Davison sees the switch to a hatch that they're sitting on, and he's like, "Do it, do it!" Yeah. So of course Davison does it. He opens the hatch, and the creature and the commander get sucked out. But that's not the end of the creature. The creature ends up at the door.
I want to come back in.
Yeah, he ends up at the door, so Captain Davison swings and boots the creature back out onto Titan, and when he's out there, he puts the explosive onto the creature, but oh no, it's not going off. It's not going off.
And with his last... Because he hasn't put his helmet on, and he's out in the atmosphere where he can't breathe, and with his last breath, he's like, "It's not exploding."
But then out pops Bryce. "Oh yes, it is." That's not just me saying, "Oh yes, it is." That's what Bryce said.
Yeah.
"Oh yes, it is." And she blows the creature apart. Where the hell has Bryce been?
Well,
we're going to find out.
Don't we?
Because we now have Bryce, Captain Davison, and Sladen. They're all back on the ship. And they're like, "So, where were you, Bryce?" And, you know, she's been very stoic throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
But at this point, she has to admit, I got lost. I just got lost between the German Richter ship and NTI and Titan in the middle.
She's just been wandering about like,
Yeah, pretty
this
much.
whole time.
And even though everyone's dead, you know, this has been a tragic, tragic rescue mission. Sladen just then says to Captain Davison, "So, Davison, are we having fun yet?" And he's like, "Why don't you ask me that later?" Implying that they can do it. Even Bryce is like, yeah, and they're about to walk off. And I'll also mention that Sladen has been reading this book. There's one book that she's had on the entire mission.
The only book I brought.
Only book I brought. And of course, while Bryce has been missing, she decides, oh, is Sladen's book? I better bring that back to her because that's important. Even though there's a creature running around, we're low on air supply, I better bring her a book. And as they're walking off, she's like, to show that she's not like
Heartless,
completely heartless. Yeah.
But also, Sladen's reaction, instead of just like a little smile, like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you thought of that. Like, thank you." She goes like,
yeah, they nod.
like it's something really serious. Again, that was dumb.
Well, the girl bossing, aren't they?
It was really dumb. But also,
That's the end.
Are they on the German ship now? Is that what they fixed? Because this really confused me. When they first land, aka crash, and half their ship is blown off, and they're like, "Oh, we don't know how we're going to fix anything. We're running out of air." But now they've killed the creature. All of a sudden, it seems to be absolutely no problem for them to just be like, "Right, let's go home now."
Well, it's a happy ending, isn't it?
But it makes no sense.
Well, Sladen's the one that was fixing stuff, wasn't she?
Yeah, but she was only fixing the like radio transmission kind of thing.
I'm sure she can fix everything because she was also one that had the plan to electrocute the creature, the rubber creature. So
From the Carrot movie.
From the Carrot movie. Yeah, the Carrot movie plan. So this was pretty great.
No, I didn't enjoy it.
I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it, even though the one thing I didn't enjoy was the 60s Star Trek score. It should have been a more ominous score. That's the one thing that I didn't like about it. But everything else, I mean, like, yeah, the flappy face, exploding head, parasites on the head, Klaus Kinski eating a sandwich, all good.
But those were such minimal parts of the film. It wasn't enough.
But it made it worth it. And of course, the rubber creature. There was also, remember in Alien, when we think we're towards the end of the movie, and the alien has camouflaged itself within the ship, and then Sigourney Weaver walks into this room, and all of a sudden, out of the darkness, the xenomorph makes itself known. And it's superbly done. They do the same thing in this at one point where the creature's like camouflage itself on the floor. It just rises from the back, and it looks a bit like a curved penis.
How did I miss that? I know the scene you're talking about, but penis
Yeah.
didn't come into my head.
It's because
for once.
it was, you know, it's shaped like a penis. It just has a head on top, and then more like mushroom head, and then shaft. So we must have been really tired to have missed that. So I liked the film. It was almost number 2 for me, but really my enjoyment was more with The Gate 2, sans Stephen Dorff, but his good mate Terry, the heavy metal loving best mate, is back in this. The guy from the first. Also back is Tibor Takacs, if that's how you pronounce his name, who also directed the original Gate, who also directed I, Madman, which is another half decent movie. And yeah, now Stephen Dorff, his character Glenn, his house is now off limits because of what's happened in The Gate, where they summoned through heavy metal backwards and saying these old words. That's what Terry did. Because just ask Judas Priest. If you play Judas Priest records backwards, it gives subliminal messaging about the devil and Satanism and all that, and they actually were taken to court for that. Can you believe?
I can believe it.
Yeah, stupid 80s. So now Terry, he is doing rituals in Glenn's old house in a bit of a Harry Potter get-up. Do you like that?
Well, he has got a cloak on, but he's upgraded everything to be very techie, hasn't he? Because like the pentagram, well, he calls it a circle.
Yeah.
But that's all just like reflective laser lights and stuff, and he's got a microphone to like blast his voice out.
Well, this was filmed in like either 89 or 88 and not released until about 91 or 92. So he's still 80s, which is the pinnacle of the technological evolution, isn't it? Yes, it is. And he's laying out a ceremonial table and spouting like a load of spiel, like, protect this traveller from the darkness, for they know me. And while he's doing all these spells and stuff, also like 3 shadows appear on the wall. Thinks it might be some demons, but
demons.
It's not. It's just John, Mo, and Liz. Liz, played by Pamela Adlon, who's always pretty great.
She is. She's brilliant.
She was great in this as well. Yeah,
She
she was probably the best. I love Mo.
I love Mo.
Love Mo. Actually, they were all good. John, Mo, Terry, a lot of them were good.
They were all good.
Yeah.
My biggest soft spot was Mo.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Gotta love Mo. That was a really good performance of Mo.
Such a funny character.
At first, they're kind of like taking the mick out of Tell. They're like, oh, what you doing?
Terry.
Yeah, Terry. Yeah. Oh, good old Tell. Tell. Yeah, that's a nickname for Terry's.
Okay.
Tell. And they kind of bully him. But then, kind of like Liz, she takes a bit of an interest in it. Mo, he's on board. They get into the circle, whereas John's more like the leader of the gang. He's like, oh, this is stupid.
I thought I was here to bully someone.
Yeah, I thought I was here to bully, not sit in a circle with Harry Potter.
Demonology.
Exactly. And do all this is stupid. He wants to leave, but he decides to get into the circle.
Well, Liz kind of convinces
him, because they're obviously boyfriend and girlfriend.
Power of the pussy.
Absolutely. And they're doing a fire spell. But to do the fire spell, they've also got to sacrifice Terry's pet hamster.
Yeah.
But Terry can't do it, obviously, because Terry's a good guy. John's like, I didn't come all this way to then not see the ritual go through. So he sacrifices the hamster. All of a sudden, the stank of the dead makes itself known. Some blood starts running down the walls. It gets onto John's foot. He kicks back, and he's kicked a diminutive minion from hell, which were the same minions from the first movie.
Yeah, see, yes. So I didn't recall. Obviously, as soon as I saw the minion, I was like, okay, this is the gate being what I thought it was in my mind, because I've only seen the gate once when we reviewed it. And it was because the minion looked exactly the same. I was like, oh, okay, now it's all come back to me, because obviously, like you said, the characters aren't instantly recognisable.
Tell.
Well, I don't remember.
Tell.
I don't remember Terrence being in it.
Right, well, he was the best mate. Yeah, the heavy metal of it. And he still has heavy metal, because in his room he's got pictures of like Megadeth, Motley Crue. Yeah, good stuff. So when it's the minion, when it's minion from hell, I said Dominion, I was going to say diminutive minion, put them together, Dominion. Terry takes it and puts it in a jar, because it's kind of like, it's a bit damaged, isn't it?
He's been shot.
That's it, it's been shot, yeah.
Yeah.
John shoots it, right?
John shoots
the minion.
He's got a gun.
So yeah, Terry puts it into like a mason jar. Something that I'm not sure was, apparent in the first one, was apparently these little minions can grant wishes. I don't remember wishes being a part of the first one. They would just, the gate to hell was opened and they're all coming out to take over the earth. But in this one, they can grant wishes.
I was also expecting more of them. Because you do just get the one minion.
I kind of like just having the one, because you can concentrate on it more and you get all the really good stop motion animation of it.
It's so funny, because the way that it's like moving and stuff, it's completely dumb. But it's also just...
It's charming.
Yeah.
It really is charming.
It's very entertaining.
And it's impressive. The stop motion is impressive. At times you don't even tell. At times you can tell absolutely that stop motion. At times you can't. Really cool. So... As I said just now, these things...
Also, you didn't even mention, so the whole reason that Terry Tell is doing this demonology thing is because his dad...
Yeah, you mentioned that. Demonology, not Satanism, because Satanism is for pussies, is what he says.
Yeah. It's also a completely different thing, isn't it? Yeah. But anyway...
Get it right, people.
The reason he's doing this is because his mother offed herself, and his dad has obviously taken this ultra hard, and he has stopped his career as a pilot and now spends his days drinking himself into a stupor on the couch by the looks of it.
Watching American football.
Yeah, and Terry obviously wants to do this and is willing to sacrifice his pet so that his dad can get his life back. Yeah,
and when Terry gets back home after this, his dad mentions that he does now have an interview with Atlantic Airlines. They want him back. They do want him back, but he's still hitting the bottle hard. So Terry's kind of like, you've got an interview to be a pilot, but you're still drinking. Anyway, now kind of about moving on. Terry's now in class. He's daydreaming, so he gets detention. While he's in detention, Pamela Adlon, Liz, comes in, and they start to talk about what went down during the ritual
That was
night.
totally legit last night.
Yeah. And she...
I need to come and check out your place.
This is when we first get the mentions of the wishes. And Terry doesn't want to say what he wished for straight away. She mentions that she made a wish too, and her wish is that she would meet her true love, even though she's going out with John. And then, yeah, like you mentioned, she then mentions that she wants to come over. Tell is in here. I can see the in. Tell is in. Now, we switch to Mo, who's working, I think, at mechanics.
Yeah, I wasn't entirely sure.
We'll just call it that. He's like a mechanic's apprentice. John shows up smoking a bit of pot. He gives it to Mo. They start talking about what they wished for. And Mo's like, aliens, man. I want to see aliens.
He wants to be abducted.
Yeah, I want to see abducted. And then John's like, why? He's like, well, maybe they'll be able to fix the hole in my heart. Because he's got a hole in his heart. He has to take pills from, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. And John also wants to take one of these pills. He's like, Mo's like, they don't get you high on nothing. It's just for my heart. By the way, what did you wish for? And John's like, I wish to be king of the world. As you do. You know, what would you wish for?
Ooh. It's a good question.
I'll give us to think as well.
I'd wish to be happy.
To be happy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite simple. And you know me as a simple man. So I guess...
He's a simple boy.
I would wish to be an immortal gazillionaire rock star who forever stays the age of 29, who has the ability of flight, invisibility, and death lasers from my eyes. And also...
You haven't spent any time thinking about that, have
an
you?
end to animal cruelty. That'd be my wish.
I mean, if you're an immortal death laser kind of person, I think you can probably see to that yourself.
There we go. That's
Especially
a good
if you can fly and all that.
That's why it's a great wish then. Because I can see to all of that. So yeah.
Meanwhile, I'll just be
that's all I want.
doing whatever I'm doing, but I'll be happy.
And I guess if I am all of that, I can also make you happy. So your wishes also come true. Thank you to me. Now, Terry's drunkard dad, he now gets the job, but he says he turned it down, and instead he's going to be a luggage monkey.
Oh, I didn't even get that he turned it down. I just got that, like, the interview wasn't even for the pilot thing. He was just going to,
No, he says that I'm not going to be a pilot because it takes me away from you too much.
Yeah, but I thought that was just his excuse for being like...
Turns out it wasn't though, doesn't it? So anyway...
Yeah, that didn't make any sense.
The jar smashes. The minion jar. We hear the jar smash.
The minion manages to, like, expel the bullet and heal itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a magic diminutive minion from hell. So, of course, Terry puts on, like, some hockey gear, starts hunting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, puts his hunting gear, walks around his room, and he manages to get it, and he plonks it in the cage. As he plonks it in the
his
cage,
old hamster cage.
the next morning he wakes up, and it's on a swing. I loved the minion on a swing.
The minion in the cage in general
It
was
was
hilarious.
Yeah. When he gets up the next morning, it turns out his dad is flying. He's like, I don't remember the conversation we had last night about me being a luggage monkey.
What are you talking about?
I'm doing the London flight.
Yeah.
And he says, by the way, I'm getting rid of all this booze. It looks like his wish is all coming good. Because
Yeah.
his dad's not going to be an alcoholic anymore, and he's going to go back to being a pilot. Liz also lets herself in, and she's amazed by the minion on a swing. This is going to work very well in Terry's favour, because to keep a woman amazed is going to work in your favour.
Oh, I thought you were just going to say to keep a woman interested, show them a minion.
Yeah, that too. Just amaze them and confuse them, and you can't go wrong. Yeah, like you mentioned, he then tells Liz that he wished for his dad to get his life back.
Yeah.
Yeah, which then Pamela Adlon then says she wants to wish for more stuff than she's already wished for.
Yeah.
Starting with, well, how about I just wish for it to stop raining? And Terry's like, no, it doesn't work like that. But then, it does stop raining. The next thing she mentions is a super cool old school Corvette.
Cherry red Corvette.
What a cool car this is. They step outside. What do they have? An old school Corvette. They go riding. They go shopping. They get loads of gifts. And the gifts are on the bonnet, on the trunk, all this stuff. Because they bought so much stuff. And when they finish their shopping, they're kind of like sitting on the front of the car, looking over the city, and they're talking about other things that they're going to wish for. And Liz says she's going to wish for a house for her mother or father. She's like, nothing extravagant, just something that costs like £500,000 or $500,000. Terry mentions that he's going to get his dad his own airline and things like this. While they've been doing this, John and Mo have been driving around as well, and they've
Spotted
noticed.
them.
Yeah, they've spotted them.
Yeah, John thinks that his girlfriend Liz is stepping out on him, doesn't he?
Next morning, Terry gets up. He gets a phone call. All the cool stuff that he's bought, all the presents have turned to literal crap. Poo-poo.
Terrence, it's all turned to shit. Like, actual shit.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Liz and Terry are
Can you
talking to
imagine
each other.
a pile of poo the size of a Corvette in your front garden?
I hope it's just like the consistency and the look of poo. It doesn't actually smell, because that would be terrible. Now, of course, because the wishes are going wrong, Dad's in hospital as well. He's like connected to a tube and stuff like this.
He crashed the plane.
John and Mo, they catch up to Liz a bit later on, and John questions her about her driving around. But she kind of like, you know, she reassures John, you know, we're just friends, kisses him. And as he gets back in the car, he's like, goddamn chicks. Who needs demons when you got chicks? Amen. Amen to that. But John...
He needs men when all they do is try and confuse you.
John is not too happy because he then goes to Terry's, punches him in the face, and it turns out that he and Mo have trashed his house and stolen the minion.
Yeah, I don't know how they realised that the minion can grant them wishes, but maybe
they were there.
Liz
They were there at the original ritual thing.
That wouldn't. No.
Whatever.
That wouldn't make it obvious.
You know, this is the gate 2.
Okay.
Can't think about it too much. So they now take the minion on a joyride. They've got him in a little sack. They're getting high. Mo has the great idea to blow some of the jazz cigarette into it, and the minion starts going even crazy. Gets out of the sack. Starts attacking them both.
Yeah.
It attacks them both. Yeah. They manage to get it under control. They put him in the boot of the car. And say, how's it work again? You gotta say a prayer. And then burn something. So they burn like $1. So we want much more of these. Next thing you know, they're flush.
This is probably my favourite scene.
I was going to say, this is also my favourite scene coming up. It's a gourmet restaurant.
It's one of those super, like, high society
Horty-torty.
Yeah. And we get a waiter coming over to the, what are they called? The concierge type person.
Restaurant host.
And the waiter's like, hey, those 2 guys in my section, why did you let them in?
Yeah, he's irked.
And the host shows like this wad of cash.
Yeah.
And so, of course, now the waiter's like, oh, okay, forget about what they look like. And they're impolite ways.
These ruffians.
I'll serve them. And we get Mo and John just being like, you know, they've got their regular no good boys outfits on, but they've also got a little bow tie.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'll have your biggest serving of snails.
No, he says, I'll have your biggest serving of escargot. And he's like, that's snails.
Yeah. And we see
escargot.
we see them with, you know, their wine, all this food they've eaten, all this stuff. And John starts feeling a bit worse for wear.
Yeah, he touches the back of his neck and there's some pus on his hand. So he decides that he needs to go to the bathroom. While he goes to the bathroom, Mo's like, oh, I'm going to pay the bill. So he reaches into his pocket, pulls out the wads of cash, slams it down on the bill tray, but it splats into poop. Yeah. And he's like, what the hell is going on? He puts his hand back into his pocket, and it's just full of poo.
Poopy pocket.
Poo pocket. Yeah.
And he's like trying to like rub the poop off the receipt.
Clean
and
it
stuff.
and all that, yeah, just making it worse. So obviously John has gone to the bathroom. He's looking in the mirror. He's also got these pocks on his face and he squeezes it and like all the pus comes out and stuff like that. Meanwhile, a waiter in the bathroom is taking a leak. John's locked himself in a cubicle. He can hear John squirming and stuff in the bathroom. The waiter comes in. They notice all his blood on the floor kind of thing. Next thing you know, John just bursts through the door, runs through the restaurant, bursts through the walls of the restaurant and throws himself out of the window back onto a street.
Yeah.
Mo goes after him and he sees John drive off in the car and kind of like crash it after about a yard or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least they got away without paying the bill.
Yeah, I guess they had lots of escargot, as they called it, and loads of bottles of wine for free. Yeah, Terry and Liz are now trying to do kind of a ritual to save the world, but they come across Mo, who is panicking about John. He's like, "You got to save John." Blah blah blah. He's in a bad way. So he says, "Oh, he's probably gone to my place of work. That's where he's gone."
No, he's locked. I think Mo's locked him in there because of the walls and stuff.
So he's there.
Yeah.
So yeah, they take him to the mechanics. John's in the boiler room.
Mm-hmm.
When they finally get to him, he's a giant stop motion demon.
Yeah. He's still like half human, half demon, because
'Cause
when
he's talking
he
to
sees
Liz.
Liz, yeah, they're kind of
He's like, I can see the other
interacting.
side. I'm the first one to be here, kind of thing. Yeah, he says he can see the other side.
And Terry and Liz have been trying to do this thing because they realise that if all three of the demons inhabit the three people, then, yeah, like, the world will be overrun with evil, kind of thing.
Yeah, where Liz has had this conversation with the demon John, they've been climbing like these rafters. Mo's also been doing the same thing, but his heart gives out. The hole in his heart gives out, and he falls off the rafters, and he's dead on the floor. John scoops him up and kind of like takes him away.
It's such a bizarre thing with Mo, because even though he does such shitty things with John, you still kind of like him.
You
And
do
I think
like him, yeah.
I think the thing is with Mo, he's one of those that it seems that he's so simple that he'll just kind of go along with whatever the person next to him tells him to do, and that's why he gets away with you still feeling a bit like...
Yeah, you always like a guy that's in your group.
You always like a guy that's in your group.
A guy like Mo in your group. You
Right.
always want a Mo. Simple Mo who everybody likes. So now that they've been taken, Terry and Liz go back to Glenn's abandoned house.
Yeah.
They're gonna do whatever they're doing, but Mo turns up. Regular Mo, but he's been a bit off. All of a sudden he opens up his clothing and he turns into a demon.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive demon, I thought.
Yeah, that demon was quite good.
Yeah.
I agree.
Once he's revealed that he's a demon, John the demon then grabs Liz, takes her through the roof, and they end up on the other side, which to me looked like a cosmic Aztec ruin Stonehenge.
To me, it looked like a depiction of a planet, like Mars or something.
Mars is red and dusty.
Well, they never showed that in movies. I just mean some kind of planet, and then they've got like a Lord of the Rings style little
Lord of the
broken
Rings.
down turret thing.
Anything to get Lord of the Rings in there, isn't it? Why don't you say that for Christopher Lee? Yeah. So Liz is there in cosmic Aztec Stonehenge, not Mars, and she's to be sacrificed. And the demon John and the demon Mo say that, Terry, you are the one that's going to sacrifice her. And
Terry's starting to turn.
yeah, his hands get big.
He's going to be the third demon.
His hairline starts receding. He's not looking good.
It's not a good look.
He's really not looking good. But I'm not quite sure what happens here, because once
I know what happens.
once Terry fully changes, does the minion get out of the box that they've put the minion in? They've made this box.
So
haven't
basically, they find the gate, the hole in this other planet, and if they put this box, which they prepared, into the hole, then everything is saved. But obviously Terry is starting to lose himself as he's turning into a demon, and he's about to actually go through with the sacrifice of Liz when the box bursts open because the little minions got out. Yeah. And it was his mother's jewellery box, and it plays a little tune.
Yeah.
And the tune brings back to him himself, I
Terry.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he manages to like stop everything, tries to stab, I think it's John Demon.
He does. He stabs John Demon in the head.
Tries to get Liz to wake up and
Yeah.
all of this stuff.
Isn't
yeah.
it Liz that then throws the minion box into the gate?
I think it is.
Yeah. And Mo is destroyed at this
Oh.
as well. So Demon Mo is destroyed. John's been stabbed in the head. And Liz then comes across Terry kind of like on the floor, lifeless. Now we're back in the real world. The camera is panning across and we're at Terry's funeral.
Oh.
So Terry's dad's there.
I was sure Terry was going to survive.
Liz is there.
This surprised me.
Everyone's dead. Or are they? Because
Yeah.
it's the end of the ceremony. All of a sudden the coffin pops open after rocking a little bit. And it's El Tel. He's absolutely fine. He's in his leather jacket. He's got his hair back. He hasn't got big hands anymore. It's like, whoa, is this my funeral?
Nice coffin,
nice
Dad.
coffin, Dad. His dad's like kind of like starstruck. He's like, what the hell?
Yeah, and all the other mourners have run away in terror, of
is
course.
going on here? So they get out. And what happens, of course, El Tel was in because then he makes out with Liz. Liz is happy that he's back. And Liz,
as they walk off into the
Tel,
sunset,
and
so
the dad,
to speak.
they are walking off into the sunset. But it doesn't end there because who
No.
else pops out the coffin?
John
Mo. And Mo.
and my favourite.
And before we get to that, when
Oh.
John and Mo come out,
Yeah.
they see Liz and Terry walking off, and once again you got John like, chicks, man. Who needs demons when you got chicks? Other way around though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now my favourite bit, the little hamster comes out as well.
Yes, the sacrificed
Thank
hamster
goodness.
also comes out of the casket. Everyone's alive, which normally in a horror movie I'll be like,
Socks.
but for
It
this,
fits this, doesn't it?
it is, because this is more of a children's
Yeah.
one.
Much like the first one. This isn't.
It is.
This isn't a scary horror at all.
No.
It's good fun.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I guess the fact that it's got like demonology, it's got the demons, it's got the little creature thing, it still counts as a horror, I suppose.
Yeah,
But,
it is a horror because
yeah.
the original Gate, that was like a rite of passage for a lot of people growing up at that time. It would be like the first kind of horror thing they see. It wasn't for me. I'd already seen the hardcore stuff first at like 3 and 4 years old. And then I got to the Gate when I was like 8 or whatever, so it didn't really have the same effect on me. And that's why I call it a children's film.
Well, it is.
It is a children's film, but it's not really, because like, originally the Gate was rated 18. This is rated 15.
Yeah, but that's just stupid.
Not really. Okay, so yeah.
Not really.
Pretty good film. Your number 1, my number 2.
Yeah,
But what is
lots of fun.
what is the rightful number 1? Howling
No.
2, Your Sister is a Werewolf. What do you think of that title?
A little bit dumb.
All right, what do you think of these alternative titles, which is also known by Howling 2, It's Not Over Yet. Better?
That kind of fits with it, actually, yeah, because it is quite silly.
So you're saying it's better than Your Sister is a Werewolf.
Yeah.
How about Howling 2, Bark at the Moon?
Yeah, perfect.
All right, and finally, Howling 2, Sturba, Werewolf Bitch.
I love it.
What's your favourite one then?
The last one.
Sturba, Werewolf Bitch. Yeah, that's the other thing that it's mostly known by.
That's
so Your
brilliant.
Sister is a Werewolf or Sturba, Werewolf Bitch. This opens and it's already a 10 for me because you have the immortal Christopher Lee reading a tome in his unmistakable voice, accompanied by a skeleton in front of a bit of a ropey cosmos background.
I did turn to you, I was like, why is there just a skeleton behind him? Like, what has that got to do with anything?
Some things just are. It's like saying, why is the sky blue? It just is. It just is. After this, we get these awesome boom, 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 dun, 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 80s opening score credits. You know how some music makes the movie? Like, think of like To Live and Die in LA. It's an 8, but with Wang Chung's soundtrack is a 10.
Everybody
Yeah.
Wang Chung.
Well, that's not the song that's in that, but you know. And you think about other ones like Lost Boys, without Tim Capello and his... It's an 8, but with Tim Capello, it's an absolute 10, isn't it? And of course, like your favourite, or same like John Parr, St. Elmo's Fire.
Why do you always say stuff as my favourite when it's so far from the truth?
So I've mentioned Christopher Lee is in this. Right, that's already cool enough. But also B-movie legend Sybil Danning. She's the one that plays Sturba. She is in this. She was the 1982 Cannes Sex Symbol of the Year. And in 1983, she also had a 10-page spread in Playboy.
10-page spread?
Yes, that's the full
Wowza.
10. I need to find that one for my collection, didn't I, really? Yes.
I'm surprised Christopher Lee even did this movie, I'll be honest.
Well,
What was he thinking?
his reasoning was, I've never done a werewolf movie before.
So this is his...
So this is the one.
Howling 2.
This.
Oh, dear.
What's wrong with this film?
It's just really silly. It's
really,
really silly. Not
really
in a
great.
negative way, but for someone of the, caliber of Christopher Lee, it's just shocking to have him in something like this.
Well, he does have like close to 700 credits. It can't all be, there's like 9 Dracula movies in there. He played Dracula 9 times. He got like three Lord
So
of the
he's
Rings
one
movies.
of those actors who just genuinely loves acting and just wants to do it no matter the caliber.
Also, he had a very long life, and he'd been acting from a reasonably young age. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's why you get it. So now we're fast forward. We're in Los Angeles, California. Lets us know on the screen. Los Angeles, California.
City of the Angels.
City of the Angels. Yeah, I never knew that either.
I thought it was the City of Angels.
It is, yeah.
But, yeah.
City of the Angels, according to this one, though. There's a funeral taking place. Christopher Lee is there. Amen. After it's over, Christopher Lee, he's bothering some guy called Ben, whose sister is Sister Karen is the deceased, right? Christopher Lee, whose character's name is Crossgo, he introduces himself to Ben and hands him his card. It turns out that he is an occult specialist, an occult investigator, and Ben's like, get the head out of here. I don't want to talk to you. And while this happens, character called Jenny notices this, runs up to Ben and like, who was that? And he's like, oh, just some occult investigator.
So Jenny and Karen were colleagues.
Yeah, Jenny and Karen worked together as news reporters. So then Jenny runs up to Christopher Lee and is like, what were you talking to him about? He's like, I was letting him know that his sister is a werewolf. Ooh. And while this goes on, we see some mourners who are like...
Yeah, and they're like pawing at the ground with their feet and stuff. Like, more like I would have thought a bull does when he's about to charge, but apparently that's werewolfy.
I guess everyone mourns in different ways.
What a dum-dum.
Yeah, people grieve in their own way. So yeah, like I say, Jenny and Karen work together. So now after this introduction, we are transported to the punk club. Boom, 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 Howling. What a song this is.
This whole performance, the band, the song, the everything.
You don't like the song?
I didn't say I don't like it.
Do you not love it?
I love it in the sense
I
that
love it.
It was hilarious. This guy's commitment. He's not a great singer. It's so dumb.
And I worship at your feet again, howling. Yes.
But also,
yes!
I thought this was like one of those werewolf in Paris.
I've got
kind
a
of
hunger
clubs.
that's emotional.
Yeah, all right, we get it. Clubs. I thought this club was for werewolves, and that's why, because they had like all this wolf style writing on like references.
Well, the band's singing
the
about
song
howling
is
as well.
obviously singing about werewolf stuff. So yeah, I thought this was a werewolf club, but I guess it wasn't.
Who's in the club though? Crossgo, Christopher Lee, and he's out in his like nighttime get up, and he walks in, and someone just put some ill-fitting child sunglasses on his face. Wrap-around sunglasses. Why is he wearing Why is he given sunglasses in the club?
I don't know.
He's never looked cooler, Christopher Lee, than in this club scene. Also in this club scene, the woman who was going at the funeral, she's there. It turns out her name is Mariana. She is a werewolf, and she starts getting bothered by three punks. One of them, well, there's the leader one. There's one in the middle, and the other one is Jimmy Nail. What is Jimmy Nail doing in this? Ain't no doubt it's plain to see. Woman like you is no good for me. What a tune that is. That's him. He was on in a denim. Jimmy Nail, ladies and gentlemen. Crocodile shoes. So he's here. She, Mariana, takes these three wrongers, including Jimmy Nail, to an abandoned spot.
Yeah, are they planning on having a foursome?
Something like that, because as soon as she gets here, she starts howling. And the leader guy is called Deacon. Then you got the other one and Jimmy Nail. The other one finds a pair of discarded panties on the floor and is like, hey, we're all going to be in for a good time here, kind of thing. Next thing you know, Mariana, she's whipped him out. She's almost naked. So Deacon comes towards and he's like, hey, we like to play. Yeah, play rough. But then...
some like cardboard
crate on a
tube
string.
Or something.
It's a crate. It's a crate on a string, comes down from the rafters and knocks him in the face. And Deacon gets bottled. And the middle guy's like, oh, you should have bottled Deacon. He gets crazy. And the Deacon like starts walking towards. He's like, I know you're there, my little beauty. And he starts doing that with his zipper on his jeans.
Up, down, yeah.
Yeah, up, down on his zipper.
Ew.
He's like, I've got something for you. Zipper, zipper, zipper,
But he's also
zipper.
got a knife in his hand.
Yeah, but
he's pissed off.
That's no good for him because Mariana's a werewolf. They all get
And the
off.
reason she's been howling is to let the other werewolves know that, you know, fresh meat has arrived.
So we have all these shots of like growing ears and growing snouts.
Which, by the way, we get the exact same shots multiple times throughout the film. They were like, oh yeah, that shot of the ear changing, that's great. Let's just put that in every time.
Well, it's classic. It's absolutely classic. So after this punk band are offed, Ben and Jenny, they're now outside a house, somewhat spying themselves, but also being spied on by werewolves in the forest, in the woods. And wouldn't you know it, it's Ennis' house, the original house on the haunted hill, and it's an apt place for Christopher Lee to be inhabiting, isn't it? Really. So Ben and Jenny, they go into the house, and Crossgo is explaining to them both, "This is the bullet that killed your sister. It's a silver bullet." Of course, why is it a silver bullet? Because she's a werewolf. Your sister is a werewolf.
We also had a shot of her just after everyone left and her coffin had been put away, waking up in the coffin, didn't we?
Yeah. While Christopher Lee's explaining all this, he's like, "By the way, I've got this videotape of your sister Karen's last news broadcast." Pops in the tape. It's a werewolf at a news desk. More to me, actually, it looked more like an extra from Planet of the Apes at a news desk. And then I was like, why do all these werewolves look like something from Planet of the Apes? Now I can explain this. Once the director got onto the set, Philip Mora, who also directed Howling 3, which is also great, he came across a crate which said 20th Century Fox, Planet of the Apes. He opens up the casket and what's in there? A bunch of ape suits. So he calls the producer. He's like, "I can't make a werewolf movie with a bunch of knockoff costumes from Planet of the Apes." The producer said to him, "You're a talented guy. Make it work." And when Philip Mora was like imploring, like, "I can't do this," he just hung up on him and left him with the monkey suits. And it took Christopher Lee to save the day. So I don't know if you remember, when Christopher Lee is saying that, if I stab these changed human beings with the silver or the titanium, they reverse back, and it turns out that you go from werewolf to monkey to man. So that was Christopher Lee that came up with that line, and it's like, he saved the whole movie, because that's why you see a bunch of monkeys instead of werewolves in this movie. It must be the only werewolf movie where you're man first, then monkey, then werewolf. Pretty great stuff. What do you think of the producer there? Make it work.
And yet somehow the werewolves and the transformations in this were still way better than the Howling 3 with clapperboard.
Yeah, that was good stuff. Ben, seeing this footage of his sister at the news desk as a monkey, he's like, fake. Yeah, of course.
Fake news.
Of course it looks fake. Even he knows. But then Crossgo shows a photo of Mariana. He's like, "Do you know who this is? Do you recognise this?" Mm-hmm. And he said, "Yeah, she was the mourner at the funeral." He says, "Right, she is immune to silver. Only titanium will kill her." He then mentions the werewolf leader woman, Sturba, werewolf bitch herself. And he says that the next full moon, it will be the 10th millennium of Sturba's birth, and at midnight all werewolves will reveal themselves. So that's kind of the end scene. We've been explained that. Ben and Jenny and I are having a drink together.
Jenny believes him, by the way.
Ben's not happy though, is he?
No.
Because basically Crossgo has said, "To put your sister at rest, I'm going to have to stab her with some titanium." Ben's not happy with this, and he says to Jenny, "Look, I'm just going to have to go and kill him."
That makes sense.
That seems like, so they go back to the house. At this point, Crossgo is looking over LA, and what's playing? Dun, 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 dun. The hunger that's emotional. Dun, 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 dun.
If you guys think that he's only been doing this when the camera's on.
Film. It's making the film. By the way, you can't get this on Spotify. You have to YouTube it or whatever. Pathetic. Yeah. Crossgo's looking out over LA. Ben and Jenny, sound like an ice cream company, didn't they? Ben and Jenny. They get to the house. They're walking to the crypt. Crossgo is there praying next to the coffin. And there's this weird old age pensioner wolf looking at him and at Ben and Jerry's. He's peeping. Ben comes and confronts Christopher Lee with a gun, but all of a sudden the wolfie comes alive in the coffin. So of course Christopher Lee has to get the titanium and he stabs it. Now there's a werewolf attack.
Yeah.
They all come together. They get most of them, but the OAP one's about to run away. So Crossgo's like, "Don't let it get away." They get outside. They put some tiny net on his face. Remember one of them, Ben picks up a little net. I was like, why has he picked up this stupid little net? Because the OH pensioner wolf just falls down anyway, and he's like, "Oh,
they have shot him.
Might as well just put the net on his face." Yeah, so why put the net on his face then?
I don't know what the net was for.
Absolutely ridiculous. So they're now questioning him. He's like, "Tell me where Sturba is." And he's like, please, just put me out of my misery. And he's like, "I can't do anything for you unless you tell me." He's like, "She's in the dark country. Like that. So then Christopher Lee puts him out of his misery.
Where's the dark country, though?
And the three of them decide that they're going to team up. But Ben's like, sorry, I was going to kill you, Christopher Lee. Now I'm going to come with you to the dark country. And Christopher Lee, the dark country is Transylvania. I'm like, I thought Transylvania was for vampires, not for werewolves.
Well, any weird creature, apparently.
I guess Christopher Lee would know, wouldn't he? Christopher Lee would know. He's played Dracula 9 times. So if when anyone knows about Transylvania, it's him. Although it's not really Transylvania, this is actually Czechoslovakia. They don't actually go to Romania. As I just mentioned, Ben, Jenny, and Christopher Lee, they're going to team up.
Yeah.
In this film, during production, Christopher Lee was somewhat appalled at the acting chops of Ben and Jenny. If you go back and watch this movie, if you notice how it's cut, when Ben or Jenny deliver their line to Christopher Lee, and then it comes to Christopher Lee, he's always like going... He can't hide it. He absolutely cannot hide it. So
that's what you get for doing the Howling too.
As our hero threesome are on their way to Transylvania, Mariana's also gone there on steam train. Choo choo. And when she gets off, boobs almost out. She meets some guy at the train station, and she has like half a pendant. He has half a pendant. They put it together, but then it's not shown again. Why? Why was that pendant put together? Do you know?
Just to show that she is who she is. She's the newest wolf member to come and join Stirba's close circle.
Well, I mean, Christopher Lee's got a photograph of her. I'm sure Stirba also probably knows what she looks like. So now we're in Stirba's lair for the first time. And for what I can tell, it's a ceremony of titties and fishnet stockings taking place.
Yeah,
right?
I was wondering, because all the extras, who are supposed to be werewolves, I suppose, they're in various... like
boudoir
S&M
get-ups, yeah.
kind of, with titty out everywhere.
Another reason for it being number one. And there's a very young, beautiful lady. She's on like a sacrificial altar. And Stirba, this old hag, walks up to her, melts her face with her...
Steals her youth
by melting her face. And wouldn't you know it, Stirba is now young and beautiful. It's Sybil Danning.
Okay, but...
as Stirba.
Just before
she's voluptuous again.
Just before she takes the youth, when she's the old lady, that performance really confused me. Because just because she's, like, physically old, doesn't mean she wouldn't still be commanding, whereas the old lady was like... What was that?
I think you're concentrating on the wrong thing. Do you not see all the ladies around in fishnet stockings with their...
I wasn't that intrigued. It's not like I haven't seen tape before.
What was really good is when Stirba does this like breath thing and brings herself back to voluptuousness, all of the people at the party are like, ooh! But one of the extras, who is an old lady, she's there, she's like, woo, woo, woo. Yeah.
I do love watching extras.
So now that Stirba is back as she should be, Stirba's with this wolf dude, this werewolf dude, and he's like getting a bit fresh with Stirba. Stirba's like, get off me, I've got Mariana for you. Brings Mariana, and she's like, she is going to bring us loads of brothers and sisters or sons and daughters, whatever.
Yeah,
does she
fierce.
please you?
Yeah.
And he's like, yes, she pleases me. And they're about to get down to it. As the Wolfman and Mariana are getting down to it, Stirba whips out those big old earth-shattering titties. Now, as I mentioned, the kind of history that she had, Cannes sex symbol of the year, the Playboy spread and all this. When she was in movies, Sybil Danning, she was always getting her breasts out. So when it came time to do this movie, she went to the producers and she said, look, how about for once, I don't get the bangers out. Of course, the producers were like... We disagree with that.
Why do you think we cast you?
But we'll come to a compromise. And the compromise was, I will whip them out one time. And technically, she does only whip them out one time. We'll revisit that later.
Also, whilst the two werewolves are getting it on with each other, there's a lot of, like... It's bizarre.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But that doesn't come yet. We'll get back to that in a second, because once we've now seen Stirba offer Mariana up to the wolf guy, we're then cutting back to our heroes making their way through the village in a car. But of course, to enter the village, I've been to Transylvania, so I've done this as well. To get into Transylvania, you have to kill a gypsy. So Christopher Lee just kills.
You've done what?
Christopher Lee kills a gypsy.
You've killed a gypsy.
Yeah, in Transylvania. If you know, I really want to visit Dracula's castle. And when you're there, they tell you cannot go to castle unless you kill gypsy. So, yeah, that's just something. I thought everyone knew that.
What the fuck are you on
To
about?
gain access to Transylvania, and more specifically Dracula's castle, you must offer gypsy. An old gypsy lady.
You're telling me I've married a murderer?
Yeah, it's not really murder though, because it's tradition. Tradition, you must murder a gypsy. So Christopher Lee, Crosco, he kills a gypsy on the floor because she's about to turn into a werewolf. And so yeah, now he's heading to the village. Stirba is now naked on a chair, and unfortunately, her earth-shattering bosom is covered in hair. Remind me of, again, Howling 3, when it had that beautiful girl who was just covered in like wolf hair after a while. I was like, oh, this is really taken away from the sexiness. But as the Wolfman and Mariana making love, Stirba decides that she's going to join in and make it a threesome. That's when then we get the...
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. The way that they act as werewolves when they're in like human form, especially, it's the most baffling thing I've ever seen. Like I said again, pawing the ground with your feet and stuff. How is that wolf-like?
Have we ever seen a wolfy menage a trois before?
I don't think so.
No, so there's another groundbreaking first in this.
But it was, ridiculous.
A wolfy threesome.
Can you imagine being a crew member on this and seeing the actors do that?
Would be awesome.
I don't know if I'd be able to contain myself though. Like every shot would be like, cut, Karen, stop laughing.
Well,
It's
I guess
ridiculous.
instead of cut, we'll just fire you for keep interrupting production. Yeah. Now we get to Ben and Jenny. Ben and Jenny. They've got to their hotel where they're going to be staying in the village. And when they walk in, there's a rather strange receptionist dude and two other like weirdo dudes sitting around who are like constantly laughing at them. Ben asks, "We'll take 2 rooms. 2 rooms, please." Jenny's like, "No, just 1 room. One what's coming here." As they ask for 1 room, they're asking like, "What's going on?" Because out in the village, there's all these people celebrating, like having these festivities and stuff. And the guy at reception is like, "Oh, there's a moon celebration taking place." And then the other two are like, just constantly laughing at everything they say. And say, "Here's the keys to your room. Room 666, of course." Which Ben's like, it doesn't look like this hotel has 6 floors. And he's like, "It doesn't." So now the receptionist calls out his nephew to kind of like take their gear upstairs, their suitcase and all this. And now I've already said, you know, Transylvania is more of a, as far as I was aware, a Dracula place, you know, a place where vampires are. Turns out that Jenny is also confused because when she gets into the room, the first thing she does is take out loads of garlic. She's like, just in case. Well, garlic doesn't work against werewolves. Doesn't work. She instantly just like starts going, "Oh my god, I'm so scared. Come and hold me." Next thing you know, we now know why she asked for 1 room, because she has her way with him.
They're getting down.
Somehow though, she has her way with him up against the wall while he's still wearing his jeans. Magic.
I found Ben and Jenny. Yeah, that does feel really weird to say, by the way.
I'm more of a Haagen-Dazs man myself.
I did find them to be annoyingly just blasé. I mean, you've gone to this place knowing that this is like the headquarters, so to speak, of all these werewolves. And yet they're walking around like they're just having some jolly holiday. And they don't seem to suspect that anyone is a werewolf. Or I was like, surely you'd think that everyone is a werewolf.
Well, it turns out they are doing the right thing, because after this they go to a church where Crosco is with a little person, Vasile, and some other people from the village who have been wronged by Stirba and her werewolf minions. So these Vasile and other people are here to fight the evil. And Crosco starts saying, "Mariana will lead us to Stirba. Until then, just be tourists." So they were doing the right thing. He then gives them some protective necklaces. Back out into the town.
Supposedly.
The festivities are underway, and there is a wolf in sheep's clothing puppet show going on, to which the receptionist nephew is like, I like.
Yeah.
Very Borat. Very Borat, this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we are back briefly. For some reason, I would say, what reason? Well, why not? Because we're back briefly to the werewolf threesome. And that's it. And then we're just
some weirdness.
We're
and then
back. We're back to the village. It's the following afternoon, and Jenny is just hopping in place,
ridiculous.
enjoying the festivities. And Ben decides, I've been shagged enough by her. She deserves a present.
Yeah, and also, again, how stupid does he have to be? He, doesn't know anyone here, really. And also, Crossco showed him the ones who are worth maybe trusting. But Ben is like, oh, I'm going to go off and try and buy her a present. So you, nephew guy, who liked the puppet show, you keep an eye on Jenny for me.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
Because he's smart. While he goes off to buy a present, we see Mariana, Wolf Guy, and hotel receptionist walking through the village, and they're like, oh, look, it's Crossco, and it's just Christopher Lee smoking a pipe, looking at them. So they seem to... They know each other, even though they're that close. There's no attack or anything. I guess you can't attack in public or something like this. We're back now into Stirba's lair, and they've got her in some crazy get-up.
It was weird as.
I guess the producers are like, if she's only going to whip him out one time, we're going to give her an outfit to wear which accentuates her backside.
It
and
was
it does.
A bizarre outfit.
It was a cool outfit, though. Very cool. Black and gold. I think a lot of ton of effort has gone into this. Now, little person Vasile, I like Vasile, right? He and Ben are on the trail of Mariana and the wolf guy at night in the woods.
Yeah, how the hell did we get from Ben trying to buy Jenny a present to suddenly he's out in the forest with the little guy?
Skip over that. We just got to assume that he's bought her a present.
There was no...
Giving it to her. They had sex with his clothes on again.
Well, no, none of that happened because Jenny asks the guy, where's Ben, doesn't she? So
anyway, Vasile, he gives Ben some of his special earplugs which will protect them from Stirba's sonic howling.
Mm-hmm.
Magic earplugs made from sacred wax. What can we write here to let everyone know that they're going to be protected from the sonic howl? Magic wax.
Magic wax.
Yeah, I thought that was really good. Now,
you're so stupid.
The Vasile and Ben, they finally come up to the castle. There's a guard there. But don't worry, Vasile, he's got a knife, and Ben's like, rock and roll.
Yeah, what the hell?
Throws the knife, it hits the guard, then Vasile, because the guard's not quite dead yet, runs up to him, pulls out one of those balls with spikes on it, and just starts battering him. That was a good kill.
Vasile's badass.
Yeah, flails him to death. Now the Wolfie threesome, they want to kill Crossco, who it turns out, we found out at this point, that Crossco is Stirba's brother.
Yeah, but
she's been alive for 10 millennia. So does that mean that Christopher Lee's character is also immortal?
But do you think that was actually like they share the same parents' brother kind of thing? Because they seem to get very I feel like the end.
Yeah, at the end it gets weird. But at this point, before we get to the ending, already it's like, what do you mean? What do you mean he's your brother?
But yeah, I assumed he must be something like super powered or something, because otherwise, why have the werewolves been so afraid of just get rid of him?
Well, he's an occult specialist. He knows his stuff, doesn't he? So there are not going to be many of those in the world. Especially ones who are Christopher Lee.
Well, only Stirba's brother.
Stirba. Anyway, so once they decide to come together and they're going to get Christopher Lee, there's lots of grunting and chanting. Yes! Great stuff. Uh-oh. Back out into the woods now because they've noticed Vasile in the castle, so they're coming after him. So Vasile and Ben are running away from the Wolfie threesome, but no! Vasile's magic earplugs fall out. And wouldn't you know it, Stirba's doing her sonic howl. So Vasile, kind-hearted guy that he is, tells Ben, you run away because you still got your magic earplugs. That's probably why he can't hear him. He's like, what? What are you saying to me? He's like, get away, run away from here. Stilra doing a sonic howl. All of a sudden, Vasile, his eyes burst open because she's got some kind of like phew, yellow electric rays also coming from her fingers.
Oh dear.
Yes.
I did like this
Yes.
film, but every time you're saying stuff, I'm like, oh no, because it's just so dumb.
After Vasile has lost his earplugs and his eyeballs have burst open, right? Also at the same time in the woods, we've got Jenny and the hotel secretary's nephew walking
Jenny
around.
is such an idiot. So just as dumb as Ben was for leaving her with that guy who he doesn't know and who's definitely come across as dodgy, the guy has now said to Jenny, oh yeah, Ben said we should meet him at this, I don't know, some place far and deep in the forest. And Jenny's like, oh okay, random man, I don't know, take me into the forests of this country on our own. And then he starts like, I mean, he's werewolf, but he also starts coming onto her sexually.
He literally says, I want to make love to you.
And I was like, Jenny, you are so stupid. Who goes off into a forest with a stranger?
Well, he was always like a chaperone, wasn't he?
No.
He is a chaperone.
No.
He's a chaperone.
Idiot.
So after he's about to have his way with her, but Sturba's, she's like, this is not what we're about. Take him away and show him some discipline. So now Sturba has captured Jenny.
To use her as bait.
Now we're back in the village, right? Krosko's there. He sees a little person with a mask on. It's wearing Vasile's protective necklace. So Krosko's like, where did you get this necklace? Who are you? So then,
Also, Krosko so clearly is acting as if this is a little child.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so obviously not a child. It's so obviously a little person.
no. It might
And
just
it
be
keeps
a
running away
rotund
from him
child.
and going...
It kind of reminded me of Don't Look Now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. By the way, some of this is shot really well. Like when Krosko is coming after the little person in the mask down the dark streets and stuff, it does look really good. It looks really cool. So he's now giving chase. Krosko's now giving chase to this little person in the mask through the village, and when he finally catches up to him in this room, the little freak is like in the corner. So as Krosko's coming towards him, pulls out a knife, slices Krosko, and we see that it's not actually
A child.
a child. Ben comes, see this little person, just without even thinking, just picks him up and chucks it out the window, saying, and it falls on to some spikes. And who was it?
It was Vasile. Well,
An undead Vasile.
his body anyway.
Under the spell of Sturba and her sonic howl. Again, very much like Don't Look Now, when it's revealed that it's not actually Vasile. Poor Vasile. Who's your favourite character?
I guess... I don't know. I mean, Christopher Lee's the best, but then
He's the
maybe
best, yeah.
Stirba?
Stirba, yeah, she was really cool actually. Now Jenny, she's tied to a post in Stirba's lair, and someone comes in and starts smothering her in blood and says, later I will turn you into the werewolf and you will know pleasures you have never experienced before. Yeah. Now Krosko, he's like rallied the troops because he's still got the other villagers who are after them. And he's got Ben and Jenny there, and he's got a bunch of stuff, and he's like, here, wax from sacred candles to protect their ears from the howling, a titanium dagger, a chalice which held the sacred blood of Christ, and some holy water. And Ben's like, can't we get some like freaking machine guns or something like this? And obviously then Chris...
Freaking laser beam!
attached to their heads. Then of course Christopher Lee is like, don't worry, this belonged to Vasile. Gives him a gun, but he's like, I'll take that, because he's handy with a gun,
Love
ain't he?
it.
He's a country boy. Yeah, now there's
I think he was a sheriff.
Maybe.
He mentioned something like that, but yeah, it doesn't
Country
come back
sheriff.
into it.
Now we're back at the punk club. Dum, 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 dum. Dum, 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 dum. And as well as a song, there's a werewolf orgy going on, with Sturba sitting in her throne.
Yeah, not in the club,
Dum,
though.
dum, dum,
That's
dum.
in her...
I'm pretty sure they're in the club. They're at the back of the club having an orgy. Because it's a wolf club. So they're playing the song to set the mood. The wolves are having an orgy. It's in the club, trust me. It's in the club. So there's a werewolf orgy at the club. All of a sudden, Crossgo and his merry men, they're on the way. So the orgy is paused after Stirba announces that enemies have arrived and there's a showdown in the woods. Showdown in the woods, and like Christopher Lee explodes someone in the hole. Remember that bit? No. Never mind. The threesome now come together to chant. But don't worry, because everyone's got their protective sacred wax in their ears. They get to the castle, and it's like, you go and find Jenny, Ben. You go and find Jenny, Ben. I will deal with Stirba, right? And now we go down to some like really cool, I call them the heathen caves. You know, got the caves with the burning torches either side kind of thing.
Yeah,
got that in heathen. Looks really good.
Like the basement of this castle thing they're
Yeah.
inhabiting.
Really, really good. Then now Stirba, earlier on, she's had this kind of like, what do you call it? Big stick.
Staff.
That's it, a staff. She had this staff with this just steel bat on it. What I imagine is a bat.
Yeah,
Was it a bat?
It looked like a, what are they, like a shrunken head style, like a mummified bat kind of thing.
Mummified bat, which hasn't moved a muscle this whole time. But one of the villagers comes across Stirba and launches. All of a sudden, this flying bat comes to life, and it flies into the villager's face, puts some like giant tongue down his mouth, and then like rolls his eyes back. That was awesome. What do you think about that bat?
Yeah, it looked like it was actually real.
It did look real.
It looked like a dehydrated, dead bat. This bit looked ridiculous to me because it was so obvious. It's just like this, just an inanimate object that's been put on the actor's face, and he's had to be like. I was like, oh no. But the idea of it was kind of cool, I guess. But again,
it was cool.
But again, isn't that more of a vampire thing? Why has the werewolf got a bat on her staff?
We're in Transylvania. I guess anything goes now.
And how was
There are
that
bats
bat
there.
attached to the staff?
Yeah, how was the bat attached to the staff? One up the bum, no arm done. So now, Ben finds Jenny kind of like being whipped. As he walks into the room, Mariana's there. We've previously been told, Silva will not work on Mariana because she is a special werewolf and only titanium will kill her. Now, yeah, he has got some titanium on him, but as soon as he walks in the room, he's like, oh, it's Mariana, stab, and that's the end of her. Like, she's like just like an extra.
It was very
There was
easy.
no showdown. She was
off
just
her,
taken
wasn't
out.
it?
She had this whole build-up, and she's just dead. I like that, actually. So
Get straight to the point. Let's move on.
yeah. So now that Ben is, his mission's complete. He's found Jenny.
Yes.
He ties her down. So now we are back to the one and only Christopher Lee as Crossgo, and he's walking down the alleyway. And he's going, bound, bound. All shall be bound and sealed from Stirba, daughter of Santa Diadada. Oh yeah, amazing.
It just reminded me, actually, there was a lot of, like, I guess it was talk, because he's not he's not actually moving his mouth. It's just, voiceover of his thoughts, I guess. And then Stirba does some as well, doesn't she?
Yeah, because now that they've come...
Brother and sister, face to face.
Now these millennia old brothers can see each other. She literally says, finally, we meet again. And
Come
he's like,
to me, brother.
for the last time. And then she says, you never could resist me. And that's what I'm thinking,
Where are we going with this?
First of all, how is a 10 millennia old werewolf got a brother who's still alive? Because how are her parents alive to, spawn Christopher Lee? Secondly, why is he always been drawn and
You never could
can never resist me?
me.
So yeah, now
It gets even weirder.
Stirba releases her sonic coloured rays
Yeah, this is when it starts getting really silly.
and puts it around Christopher Lee, who starts coming towards her.
And you think he's under her spell.
Yeah, and Stirba, as she's releasing this, she appears old again now. She's that haggard. She switches from being Sybil Danning to haggard. Yeah, because you see the way that she really is. As he gets close to her, she thinks that she's got him under her power, but then he's like, in the name of God. But it's not
I
really...
don't know if that was even visible, but yeah, he stabs her.
Yeah, stabs her with some titanium, and it's not really over, because now she's like, now we will be in blood and flame, wed for eternity. And they kind of like hug together.
But they were acting really weirdly like sexual as well.
That's what I'm saying.
It's so strange.
I liked it.
That's why I was like, wait, did they mean like actual blood brother, or did they mean something else by that?
But what else would they mean? Because it's not like,
You
hey,
my bro.
you're my bro. You know, this is Stirba, the werewolf.
He's been
bitch.
my bro for years.
And the one and only Christopher Lee. But as we all know, you might be a werewolf with superpowers and rays coming out of you and stuff like this, but you're not going to be able to defeat Christopher Lee, are you? He is the man. So now he has saved the day, and once again we hear more Christopher Lee voice over. Because why not? Because that is a great voice.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely fantastic voice. We now get just a quick shot of the dragon bat coming out of the guy's mouth again. Because why not? It's like the extra shot of the wolfy orgy. Why not? Stillbert and Crossco, they burn.
We've had the
together.
shots that we mentioned before as well of the ear and stuff, like multiple times throughout the film. Just why not? You've done it once, you might as well just keep putting it in there.
Yeah.
And that's not the last of the repetitive shots, is it?
No. But now, Ben and Jenny, they go through the village again. He gets his gun. He asks some guy, which is the fastest way to the airport? And the guy just goes like... So they get to the airport. They are touched down back in Los Angeles. And... Yes, Babel, the song is playing again. They're back in their apartment, their new apartment. It's Halloween back in LA. There's a knock on the door. Ben and Jenny think they've got a trick-or-treater. They open the door, and what is it? It's an extra from Planet of the Apes. They're a bit freaked out.
Cool costume, kid.
Yeah.
Where does he come from? Across the hall, but that apartment's empty. We should go and invite them over for a glass of wine.
Yeah, so then they go and knock on their neighbour's door from across the way, and this little baldy pervert opens the door.
Some random adult.
And they're like, oh, your child was out here a minute ago in his Planet of the Apes costume.
But I don't have a child.
Yes, I don't have a child. I'm a bachelor and I live alone. What the hell was
I don't know.
this about? And he's like, won't you come in? And they're like, oh, maybe a bit later. He's like, oh, I can't wait.
I don't know. It was so pointless.
Hey, I liked it.
But then also, as they're walking back to their own apartment, they're like, yeah, maybe later. Not.
You're not.
Psych.
Yes. And that is the end of the movie. We get now Babel, that's the name of the band, by the way. They start to play us out with their Howling song. And the end of the movie is just shots of the film that we've already seen. So multiple shots of the film that we've already seen. Now, as Babel are playing us out in the club to their amazing song Howling, and I'm being truthful about that, I love that song. Mentioned earlier on that Miss Danning had gone to the producers and said, look, I'll whip him out
just
once
the one time.
as a compromise. But as the credits are coming up, no less than 17 times...
I think it was more than that.
No, it's 17. 17 times she whips out the breasts. They use the same shot over and over again. So she's thinking, yeah, I've only got them out one time. That's a new record low for me. But oh no, now I'm at a record high for the amount of time that I get my breasts out, because the producers have decided to use the same shot another 17 times for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
They've literally done it like on a certain beat of the song. So you'll get it like 3 times in a row as well. Just like...
Yes.
I could not believe what I was watching.
I liked it.
The more they did it, the more I just was like, my brain is melting.
So good. And what's even better about it, as I've mentioned before, when Christopher Lee was not impressed by the acting of Ben and Jenny, every time it cut back to him, one when I went, he was like that. When it shows Stirba releasing her breast, it would go to like a shot of like the band member, and he's like, And then we got like a shot of Vasile, and he's like, it even goes to a shot of Christopher Lee, who's like, best end credits ever.
It's literally like...
Greatest song of all time and epic gazungas.
It's like they've gone and be like, she made us only get one shot, so let's really rub the salt in. Yeah, exactly, and make her an absolute perv object.
I don't think it was vindictive. I just thought it was like, this is one of the best shots we have in the movie.
Yeah, but then why put all the pervy leering shots in between?
In all honesty, I'm not sure that was purposeful. I just think it's the way that it's ended up.
Dear God.
And you have to see it to believe it. Now, this was the lowest rated film on IMDb. I was like, how is this so low rated? This is
hilarious.
This is an amazing horror film. Yeah, this is the reason I want horror to exist almost, because if you're not gonna freak me out or make me think or scare me, just purely entertain me with like silliness.
The like werewolf noises and movements, and especially when they're being sexual, like you said, you have to see it to believe it.
Yeah, you got to see this film.
Hilarious and mind-boggling.
You can't get this film on DVD, it seems, or physical media. So yeah, if you've got Generous Jeff's streaming service, you can find it on there, and I highly suggest that you do seek it, especially if you're a dude. You know, Sybil Danning. I'm taking her over. You know, name me some actors from these days who are apparently good.
Zendaya, Margot Robbie.
Zendaya! Yeah. Who's that one who's like, you know, greatest actor of a generation, who was in...
Midsommar Girl.
Midsommar, yeah. Oh, God.
Florence Pugh.
Yeah, give me Sybil Danning every single time against like Maggie Gyllenhaal or, you know, Jessie Buckley. All these people have nothing about them. Zilch. Give me Sybil Danning. Yeah? 1982 Cannes Sex Symbol of the Year.
80s, Sybil Danning and Arnie.
Oh, yeah.
He'd be all over that.
Come on, man. In this movie, you got Christopher Lee. Is this Christopher Lee's best movie? Maybe. You know, Christopher Lee's in Gremlins 2, The New Batch. Joe Dante, the director of that movie, also directed the first Howling, which is considered arguably the second best werewolf movie after American Werewolf in London. And apparently when Christopher Lee got there, he was like, I'm very sorry about appearing in The Howling 2. But the guy that wrote the Howling novels... He wasn't impressed with Joe Dante's Howling. He certainly wasn't impressed with this. But I'm saying there's no way that the second Howling novel can be a patch on Howling 2, Your Sister is a Werewolf, / Howling 2, Bark at the Moon, / Howling 2, It's Happening Again, / Howling 2, Stirba, Werewolf, Bitch. Love this film. And I've now put the rest of the Howling movies we haven't seen on the list. So yeah, another great week. Thank you to everybody who made these movies.